Good evening, everyone. I'll allow for a couple of seconds as people join our session. So all right. We have many of you here. So good evening again, everyone. My name is Diego Zaragoza. I'm the Associate Director of Domestic Programs here at the Center for Mind Body Medicine. And on behalf of the Center for Mind Body Medicine, I am really honored in welcoming you today in what marks a very special occasion, our first webinar in a series of webinars to celebrate the center's 35th anniversary. Uh, 35 years represents more than just time. It really reflects a legacy, dedication, growth, and impact. It is a testament to the people, both past and present, who have contributed with their passion and their energy, expertise, and commitment to advancing our mission. Uh, so, whether you've been a part of this journey or are joining us for the first time now, we are really grateful to have you here. Uh, Before we begin, I'm going to go over some housekeeping rules or announcements. Uh, this session is being recorded. We will provide you a link after the webinar so that you can review it and share it. We encourage you to use the raise hand feature so that you can join us here on screen. Again, this is a celebration. We would love to see as many of you here on screen. So if you would like to be on screen, click on the raise hand button and we will move you over to the screen. And also during the session, Dr. Gordon will ask questions, so also use that button to be on screen. Finally, I am going to introduce our COO, Randy Mita, who will then bring forth our presenter for today. Randy?
Wonderful. Thank you, Diego. That was such a wonderful introduction. And it is my honor as the COO of the Center for Mind Body Medicine to introduce our founder. Our founder and CEO of the Center for Mind Body Medicine, Dr. Jim Gordon. He's here to talk to you about a very important topic, and we're so thrilled with the turnout that we have here. And we hope you'll learn, engage, and continue to stay engaged with us for the remaining webinars that we continue to host. So we don't have a ton of time, so I'm just really honored to work alongside Jim and to introduce him to you so he can share with you in his knowledge and his skill and his years and decades of expertise.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Diego. And hello, everybody. I wish I could see you all. I'm sort of, I just, how many people are here, Diego? Do we have a sense of that?
140 people.
140. Okay, welcome. Welcome to the 140. It's great to be with you. What I want to do today is really give you a kind of, I want to respond to the title to help us all regulate ourselves and come into balance. And I also want to give you an introduction to our work at the same time, to the work of the Center for Mind Body Medicine. So I'm going to put those things together and share some practical techniques that we will do together to both enable us to come into balance and to express ourselves as well. So I'm going to go through a slideshow and this first slide, I think, gives you a sense of some of what's distressing us, some of what's throwing us out of balance. You can see the pictures on the left. There's what happened in Israel on October 7th. On the right, you see a picture of what's happened in Palestine and Gaza for the last 2 years. And then there are other images that we're all exposed to pretty much every day, and perhaps many times every day, of things that are going on in the world that are distressing and agitating us. And here are some of the consequences of that. And as Diego said, you'll have all these slides available to, well, you have the recording available to you, and we can make the slides available as well if you'd like the slides. So here's what's happening in our country. And I'm focusing on the United States, but this is a global a global phenomenon of this increased level of stress. You see the incidence of depression, of anxiety and stress, of loneliness, and it's actually that should be social isolation. I wish it were social inclusion. It's a typo we didn't catch. It's social isolation that is affecting so many people. And fear of the future. I have a 23-year-old son, so I hear about these things and know a number of people his age and younger. And I hear about these things, this apprehension about the future. And for those of us who are considerably older, we recognize that this is a very different time. It's a very different time, certainly from the one in which I grew up, and a very different time from the one in which I've lived most of my life, a time of much greater apprehension. And as this slide says, all of us are affected. It may be that the people like that little boy, Liam, with the bunny cap, who was taken away from his family in Minnesota, he and his family are most affected. And earlier today, I was talking with a young man from Minnesota, a young Latino man, who was taken away for 19 days and put in detention centers. And I could just see sort of the level of stress and pain that he's still suffering 6 weeks later. But I think it's not just the people who are most directly affected. It is all of us, because we're human beings and we're empathetic. And also because we have a whole range of emotions which are aroused. I don't know if anybody keeps track. Okay, I'm sort of tempted to. How many times a day do I find myself angry? How many times a day do I find myself sad as I look at the news, read the news, look at social media? A lot of emotions are being aroused all the time, and the challenge for us is to come into balance. And this is the work of the Center for Mind-Body Medicine. It is the work, first of all, of helping ourselves come into balance, using the tools and techniques, some of which I'll be sharing with you this evening, to bring ourselves into physiological and psychological balance. And then it is the sort of the mission and the privilege that we have of sharing what we are learning for ourselves with other people. So here, this is a slide in Sonoma County after the wildfires there. We are doing a training program there. Our work is to bring an approach that not only relieves symptoms and brings us into balance, but in doing so prevents and treats disorders and diseases. But it is also more than that. It is also communicating to others, as we learn for ourselves, a way to stay in balance throughout our lives and to negotiate the difficulties that come up and to come through them not only stronger, as that famous quote of Nietzsche about whatever doesn't kill me makes me stronger, not stronger just or even in that sense, but stronger in terms of being more flexible, calmer, more compassionate, and wiser. So our work is all about the growth of human beings, our growth, and sharing what we are continually learning with others. So a couple words about the Center for Mind-Body Medicine. I started the center, Diego, speaking about us celebrating our 35th anniversary. I started the center in 1991, and as we've evolved, our mission now is to help communities around the world, as well as and the individuals who live in them, the tools they need to heal population-wide trauma and chronic stress, individually and in whole populations. And as it says here, our model is designed not only to relieve those traumas or even to bring us back into balance, but to promote growth through what we learn, what our trauma enables us to learn and teaches us if we're open to it. We've trained 8,000 people have come through our professional training program. And at the end, there'll be a slide inviting those of you who are interested to find out more information and perhaps participate in this training program. One of the things that I want to mention right here up front is that we not only train people with MDs and PhDs licensed clinical social workers and nurses and counselors. We train people who are committed to learning what we have to teach and then sharing it with others. And one of the things we've discovered over the years is that people who don't have those advanced degrees, if they are willing to learn on themselves and committed to working with others and receiving guidance as they do it, that they or you, since I'm speaking to you, you can do a brilliant job. And we've seen this here in the US and all around the world. Here are some of the places we've worked and some of the groups that we've worked with. We have 150 faculty, international faculty, who are working with us in all these different places and even more as the center keeps growing. Our work is, we document what we're doing. The research on the effectiveness of the techniques I'm teaching you, when we put them together in a comprehensive program, has been documented in 30 articles published in peer-reviewed scientific journals. And you can take a look at our website and you can look at the abstracts of those articles and also at times get full copies of them. So, what is mind-body medicine? People wonder about it. And basically, it is two things. It is the hardwiring that is actually there in each of us, that we know now through scientific investigation that every thought, feeling, and sensation we have, all of our social relationships, what's happening economically to us, what's happening spiritually to us, can affect every organ and every cell in our body. And every organ and every cell can in turn affect how we feel and think and relate to other people. That's the basic biopsychosocial fact of being human. That's one critical aspect of mind-body medicine. That's the hardwiring. The second part of mind-body medicine is the understanding that we can enter into this continual conversation among our thoughts, feelings, sensations, experiences, and all the organs and cells in our bodies with techniques that anyone can learn. And to serve our mission, and in fact, the kind of nuts and bolts of our mission, or the guts of our mission, is teaching these techniques to others, learning these techniques ourselves, teaching them to others, so we can enter into this conversation in a positive, therapeutic way. And mind-body medicine, as it says here in this slide, we're combining the wisdom of ancient healing traditions, indigenous traditions, the high classical systems of Indian Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, and Hippocratic medicine, which is the ancestor of our Western medicine. We're combining all of those techniques with modern science, and we're using the tools of modern science to study the outcomes of this combination, of these comprehensive programs that we teach others. So many different techniques that we teach. In our training programs, we teach 16 techniques. I think we'll do about 3 of them tonight. And in my book, Transforming Trauma, and there'll be a slide about that a little bit later, I think I teach 25 different techniques. There are many, many techniques that can be used. They can be taught in one form or another to human beings down to the age of 3. And they can be taught to people of every ethnicity, every nationality, every gender, every age, because we're drawing on all the world's wisdom. People recognize what we're teaching, say, oh yes, that's part of what I learned when I was a child living in Africa, or that's something there's an analogy to that in a haditha, in a commentary on the Quran, or yes, the Kabbalists in Jewish Kabbalists, the mystics talk about that, or yes, my grandparents used to do something like that. So all of these techniques, and we'll come back to them a little bit later, are recognizable and they're easily translatable. Meditation is central to the work that we do, to mind-body medicine. This is a slide of me working with kids, high school kids at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland after the mass shooting there. And these kids are in a training program, and we can train young people who are high school students to do our work with other high school students, just as we train physicians and mental health professionals and teachers and counselors and others. So meditation is central to our work. And as you'll see here, there are many kinds of meditation. But I want to point out first that meditation and medicine come from the same Sanskrit root word, meaning to take the measure of and to care for. Medi is the word. So it's the art and science of medicine, and meditation is foundational. And aboriginally, and in the high classical systems, all of those practitioners were grounded and steeped in meditation. We're part of a movement to bring meditation back where it belongs, into the center of medicine. Meditation is relaxed moment-to-moment awareness. There are thousands of kinds of meditation, thousands of techniques. None is better, none is worse. They're all useful. They were created at different times, in different societies, for different purposes. They all can be used. They all can be part of the central element in mind-body medicine programs. There are three basic kinds of meditation, categories in which these thousands can be divided. There's concentrated meditation, focusing on a sound, an image, a rosary, where you're saying, for example, Hail Mary over and over again. It's technically concentrated meditation. Concentrated meditations are part, as far as I know, of basically every religious and spiritual tradition in the world. And they are probably, we have recordings of them of about 8,000 years old in records of them, I don't mean actual recordings, but records of them in scriptures from India, for example. Awareness meditation, or vipassana, which is a Sanskrit word, becoming aware of thoughts, feelings, sensations as they arise. As far as we know, vipassana, awareness meditations, begins with Siddhartha Gautama, the man whom we call the Buddha, the man who woke up and became aware of what was happening 2,500 years ago. The third kind is the oldest kind on our planet, expressive meditations, fast, deep breathing, moving, jumping up and down, shouting, screaming, laughing, whirling. We have records in the south of France and the north of Spain of humans, looks to me like doing expressive meditations with the animals, maybe 30,000 years old. And indigenous people use expressive meditation. They are crucial, and they are crucial to this time of distress. They're foundational for working with psychological trauma of any level. And at this time in history, with so much going on that's so distressing, the expressive meditations are even more important. Today, we're going to do a concentrated meditation, and we're going to do an expressive meditation with a couple moments of awareness in the middle of that expressive meditation. The first one that I'm going to teach you is soft belly breathing, a concentrated meditation. This is the first one that we teach in our training program. It's the first one that we teach people to teach when they're working with others. It's one we use at the Center for Mind-Body Medicine every day. Every time we have a meeting, we do a couple minutes of slow, deep, soft belly breathing. I'm going to take you through this and teach you the physiology, or probably for most of you, I'm going to be reviewing the physiology as we go through this. This is a picture of me and Ania Taul, and we're doing soft meditation in Juba, South Sudan. And we're with a group of women who Anieth has organized into a crafts collaborative. About 100 women are there who have been suffered some of the worst trauma imaginable during the wars in South Sudan. And there are people who have just sort of taken to heart concentrative and expressive and mindfulness meditations, and they've been foundational to their healing from the most devastating trauma one can imagine. So we start off with soft belly breathing, and I'm going to ask you to sit comfortably. And yeah, I'm changing my position because I was kind of leaning forward to speak. I'm going to sit back comfortably. I'm going to allow my breathing to deepen, and just everybody yeah, there's nothing to it except to just breathe slowly and deeply. In through the nose, out through the mouth, with our bellies soft and relaxed. And I suggest you close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Closing the eyes eliminates a great deal of external stimulation, makes it easier to concentrate. And I'm going to suggest you concentrate on the breath coming in through your nose and going out through your mouth, on your belly softening and relaxing, and on the word soft as you breathe in and belly as you breathe out. Breathing slowly and deeply like this, in through the nose and out through the mouth, with the belly soft and relaxed. More air goes to the bottom of our lungs, where there's better oxygen exchange. And oxygen feeds all the cells throughout our body. As we continue to breathe slowly and deeply, in through the nose and out through the mouth, with our bellies soft and relaxed, we activate the vagus nerve. That's V-A-G-U-S. Vagus means wandering in Latin. And this big nerve wanders up from our belly, through our chest, back to our central nervous system, to our brain. It is the central element of the parasympathetic nervous system. And when we activate the vagus nerve by slow, deep, soft belly breathing, we lower our blood pressure, slow our heart rate, relax the big muscles in our bodies, and improve our digestion. The vagus nerve is the antidote to the fight or flight response of the sympathetic nervous system. And as we continue to breathe slowly and deeply, activating the vagus nerve, we begin to calm the fear and anger in the amygdala, A-M-Y-G-D-A-L-A. It's a Greek word, it means almond. It's an almond-shaped portion of our emotional brain. So breathing slowly and deeply, in through the nose and out through the mouth, the belly soft and relaxed, activates the vagus nerve and quiets the fear and anger in the amygdala. The fear and anger that for many of us are aroused perhaps even many times a day, brings us back into balance. And as we continue to breathe slowly and deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth, with the belly soft and relaxed, we stimulate activity in the frontal part of our cerebral cortex, an area is responsible for thoughtful decision-making, self-awareness, and compassion. Continuing to breathe slowly and deeply, in through the nose and out through the mouth with the belly soft and relaxed, the vagus nerve connects more effectively with other cranial nerves that govern speech and facial expression. So we're able to tune in more easily to what other people say, to the feelings they're expressing in their face, even while we're quieting our body, calming fear and anger, and increasing our capacity to think clearly, to be self-aware, and to bond with others. All this from slow, deep, soft belly breathing. And as we continue to breathe slowly and deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth, with the belly soft and relaxed, we can feel all the muscles in our body relaxing. So feel now, as you exhale, the relaxation in your belly, in your pelvis, and your buttocks. Feel the relaxation in your legs and feet. Continuing to breathe slowly and deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel the muscles relax all up and down your back. As you exhale, feel the relaxation. Now feel the relaxation in your chest and shoulders. Feel your arms and hands relax. Now breathing slowly and deeply, feel the relaxation in the muscles of your neck and face and head. Continuing to breathe slowly and deeply, feel your whole body relax with each exhalation. Focusing on the breath, coming in through the nose and out through the mouth, on your belly softening and relaxing, and on the word soft as you breathe in, and belly as you breathe out. If thoughts come, let them come. Notice them, let them go. Gently bring your mind back to soft belly. Just a few more slow, deep, soft belly breaths. Now slowly, gently open your eyes and let your attention come back in the room and on the screen, perhaps. So I can't see you all, but I'm hoping you'll come back. Um, how many, well, usually 80 to 90% of people notice change. What kind of change? The people I can see on the screen, Kimberly or Teresa, I can't see your faces right now, but I wonder if either of you notice a change, or Randy or Diego. You're the ones I can see. Any change?
I noticed a significant change. Yes, of course. Especially the way you lead it, Jim.
What kind of change did you notice?
Far more relaxed than I was when I started this, stressed out about any technological issues with the webinar.
Okay, I see somebody there. Who's that? Shankari? What did you notice? You want to unmute?
Sorry, I typically have a hard time focusing and being able to do the gentle breathing. And you telling me to, say nose and belly as I'm doing it really helped.
Great. Yeah, it does help to have one or more words or images to focus on. So thank you. And I'm sorry, Erendita, is that right? Hi. What was it
Yes.
like for you?
Sorry. For me, was I can relax all my big muscles. I feel right away in my legs, my back. I feel right away how to lose the weight in my big muscles. Thank you, doctor.
Fantastic. Now, 80 to 90% of people, I can't poll everybody here, and I can't even see everybody's hands, but when we do this, even in the middle of a war zone, at least 80% of people are able to relax some and see a change. This is crucially important in these times. You don't have to be in a war zone. Well, in a way, we are in a war zone. There's so much division in our society. There's people yelling at each other in print or in person or wherever they see each other. So much going on. So we need to be able to come back into balance. And 80 to 90% of people can do this the first time. And if you can't do it the first time, if it didn't happen now, try it another couple times. It's almost certain to happen. And if for some reason you're too jumpy, I have something a little bit later to help you come into balance. But this is really important. If you can practice this one technique, even 2 or 3 minutes, a few times a day, you can notice the difference. I have seen people who have been overwhelmed by various kinds of trauma in a workshop like this, where they just, or even a briefer one, where they just learn this one technique. This one technique is the beginning of developing a full program of self-care and having confidence in your ability to use that program for your benefit. It's foundational. Now, we have there's a video of me doing this on our CMBM website. So check it out. I hope you weren't taking notes on this. You're supposed to just doing this and then check it out on the website and look at the website and use that video that I've done, 8, 10, 12-minute video, and use that for yourselves and practice. If you're working with a group of people, once you've started using it yourself, bring it to your workplace. As I said, we do this before just about every meeting that we have, so that when you come into a meeting, you're not sort of thinking, I've got to make this point, or I know she's going to say that, and I got to say that. You're a little relaxed. You're just prepared to listen to other people. And that's one of the crucial issues of this time we're living in, is people not listening to each other. So if we can create that capacity to listen to and relax with ourselves, we can also make it far easier for us to listen to and relax with other people. Okay, great. So there's a great deal of science behind meditation. I'm not going to go into that at any length. I'm just going to touch on it very, very briefly today because I want to really focus on giving you experiences today. But you can read the science. You can read it in my book, Transforming Trauma. You can look at the references that we have that you can find on our website. It will give you a way to access those references at the end of this talk. What's crucial is, first of all, there is science. When I first began to look at meditation and meditate myself 50 years ago, there was very little in the way of science about it. Now there are thousands and thousands of papers on concentrative and mindfulness meditation, and there are a number of papers on our work, which includes expressive meditation, showing the power of meditation. So here are some of the things. Here are some of the ways that meditation can affect the various structures in our body. The brain structure, brain function can affect chromosomes. I'll touch on that later. It can enhance immunity. Some of the first studies that were done on meditation showed the incredibly impressive effects of meditating regularly on immune functioning, particularly with people with cancer who often had distressed and disturbed immune systems. And meditation can actually affect the way the genes act in the body by what's called epigenetic changes. Meditation can change structures in the chromosomes, which in turn affect the genes, and including those genes that make it easier for us to deal with stress. They promote the activity of those genes. So meditation, on a very deep biological level, enhances our capacity to deal with stress. And indeed, those changes that happen to our chromosomes that affect our genes can be transmitted from one generation to the next. So we are not only doing ourselves a favor, but if we're having children, if we're going to be having children, we can be doing children that favor as well. Here's one of the early studies among many showing the power of meditation, not only to change functioning in the brain, but as I was suggesting with the imagery, to change the structure of the brain. This is changing the frontal cortex of the brain that soft belly breathing activates, that you can not only get it to work better and more efficiently, so you can make better decisions and be more self-aware and be more compassionate, but you also can enhance the numbers and increase the numbers of neurons, of brain cells. This is recent science. This is a study from one of the earlier studies from about 20 years ago on this. And there are many studies. And this can happen you don't have to go to the Himalayas for this to happen or join a monastery. A couple hours a week, according to Sarah Lazar's and a bunch of other research, can make those changes in brain structure as well as brain functioning. Meditation reduces not only the functioning, the activation, but also the decreases the size of the amygdala, that center of fear and anger. This is hard science. So it's not a matter of belief. This is a matter of science and most deeply a matter of experience, the kind of experience that you're having here, that we're having together. Meditation can also change the chromosomes. Telomeres, these little caps on chromosomes. And as we age, they get shorter, and they get shorter faster if we're under stress. And it looks like the science is developing that shortening of telomeres is going to be a sign of earlier death. We can stop the telomeres from shortening, and perhaps even lengthen the telomeres using meditations like the techniques I'm teaching you here this evening. This is very powerful medicine. This is as powerful as anything, as any chemotherapy or any antibiotics, all of which are powerful. But this has the same capacity to make profound, not only psychological, but physiological, biological, structural change. And this is the kind of medicine This mind-body medicine is the kind of medicine that is sort of the essential medicine, I would say, of our age for all of us. You don't have to have a particular disease or a particular psychological diagnosis. This is the basic medicine, the basic self-care, and the basic prevention. Now, trauma. I want to talk a little bit about trauma. Trauma means wound or injury. It's a Greek word. And it can be to the mind, the body, and the spirit. But trauma to any aspect of us affects all aspects of us. And it is, I would say, coming, as I say here, coming with increasing frequency and intensity to all of us here in the US and to people around the world. When I read about the initial cuts to US aid, and I understood what was going to happen to children in Africa, the children and adults too, hundreds of thousands, maybe over time millions were going to die without that life-saving support. That was traumatic for me. I've been there, but I'm not there now, but I felt it. And many of us have that trauma that comes from being human and having the capacity for empathy, as well as the trauma that may come from losing a job or having a difficulty with your family or having a life-threatening illness. But I want to just say that what is happening around us now is deeply traumatic, and it doesn't matter where you are on the political spectrum. Just about everybody is experiencing it. And unfortunately, so many people are simply reacting and getting into anger and rage or fear and withdrawal. And the way through is to learn to come back into balance with the trauma so that one can deal with the situation effectively and thoughtfully and compassionately. But trauma comes to all of us. It's a human experience. What happens in trauma, and including all the traumas that we may be experiencing every day, there are three basic responses. And the work, what I'm doing with you, hopefully today, are giving you the foundation for responding to for responding to the responses, for bringing back into balance when these responses are activated. The first is fight or flight. Now, everybody here, if there are 140 of us or more, everybody here has experienced fight or flight many times. Fight or flight is a response that's built into all vertebrates, all animals with backbones. It was first recognized by Walter Bradford Cannon in 1926. And if you think about it, what it is, it's a life-saving response to initially, evolutionarily, to a physical threat, to a predator. So if you've seen films of the sort of nature films of animals grazing on the Serengeti Plain in Africa, you see antelope happily grazing at a waterhole, and then a lion comes along and the antelope are off and running. They're in fight or flight. Now, fight or flight says that you either fight or you run, and you're mobilized. The big muscles are tensed, heart rate's up, breathing is faster, digestion is suppressed. You don't need to stop for a snack when you might become somebody else's snack. You're just off and running. Now, antelopes are genetically programmed to flee when a lion comes. They're not very smart, but their brain is big enough to accommodate that. Another lion might come to the waterhole and be programmed to fight over the territory. The antelope, if the antelope gets away, you can see it in the films. 3 minutes later, she's happily grazing. Fight or flight has come, done its job, and it's gone. The response is designed by nature or the creator to come quickly and go quickly. The difficulty with trauma is not that fight or flight comes, but that fight or flight doesn't go away. It's as if we're still carrying the lion around us. And we see this if we're obsessively thinking, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. am I going to lose my job? Budget cuts coming. How am I going to make the mortgage on my house? How am I going to pay for, gasoline and eggs and grocery? We're often in fight or flight continually, and it doesn't serve us. It doesn't help us, work any more efficiently. Doesn't help us budget any better. It doesn't help us, work as activists to deal with climate change. It creates continual stress in the body, which takes a toll on every organ and every system. Obviously, just touch on this. If your blood pressure stays elevated, you're at much higher risk for heart disease, for strokes. If you're putting out cortisol, the stress hormone, you're much more likely to develop diabetes. You're much more likely to not be able to respond to future stress. Anyway, when fight or flight continues, very important to deal with it. Freezing. When the stress is overwhelming and inescapable. And if I could see all of you, I would ask for hands. How many of you have experienced times when the stress feels overwhelming and inescapable? I know I've felt that at various times. Yeah, I see one hand, a couple of hands are up. Yeah, everybody. It comes. What happens is, once again, there is a life-saving response called the freeze response. We shut down. We put out endorphins so we don't see the pain, and we remove ourselves psychologically because the trauma is overwhelming and inescapable. Think of a mouse in the jaw of your pet kitty. I used to have a bunch of kitties when I lived in the country. I don't have any now. And a couple of them were great mousers. And they delighted in bringing the mice back to me to show it in their jaw. Like that. And the mouse is hanging there in the jaw. Sometimes the mouse was dead. But sometimes, and I observed this, and perhaps some of you have seen this too, the kitty got bored because it was no fun. The mouse wasn't putting up a fight. They drop the mouse. Mousie would shake herself off. She'd run away. Back to the mouse hole. Her life was saved. Freezing can save a life. I've worked a lot with people who've been tortured. Just about every one of them has gone into the freeze response. Because the torture is unbearable. So you have to, in a sense, numb and leave your body. Freezing can be life-saving. If it continues, we get shut down. Our bodies are tense and frozen. Our posture's bad. Often we can't relate to other people. We feel numb. Our emotions are not available to us. That's what happens a lot with chronic stress. And we see this now. I see people who feel overwhelmed, who say, I can't deal with it. I just have to space out all the time. That's a kind of chronic freezing that they're having. The third phenomenon that happens with trauma is that people feel alone and isolated. This is a consequence of the biology of trauma. But it affects the way we look at the world. So often, I've worked a lot in war zones. People feel alone often with the trauma, even though it's obvious that everybody's suffering. They feel very alone. So these three things, which to a greater or lesser degree, you saw the numbers or the percentages of people who feel loneliness and isolation. You saw the numbers of people who feel anxiety, which is a kind of chronic fight or flight, the numbers who are freezing, and at a lesser level, where we don't rise to a diagnostic category, but we're just feeling kind of down or removed or anxious or a little, not so sure we want to be around other people. Those are the common things that are happening to so many of us at different points in time. Our method at the Center for Mind-Body Medicine is to address all three of these. You've already experienced soft belly breathing, which is the most effective, simplest way to address the chronic fight or flight response. We're going to do very soon an expressive meditation which will address freezing. And I'm going to suggest that all of you, if we were breaking up into small groups as we do in our training, you would have the experience of connecting with other people and sharing your experience with them. I just want to suggest that you find ways to connect with other people and share your experience of the techniques you're learning here, and just hang out with other people. One of the things that I have done more than I ever have in the past during this time is to reach out to other people. Every time somebody comes to my mind more than once, I send them an email or I call them up, because I feel how important the connection is. So here we go. This is just what I've said already. Now we're going to do an active expressive meditation. And the one we're going to do is the first one we do in our trainings and in our small groups. It's shaking and dancing. Very fancy name, right? Shaking and dancing. And you're going to have to get up for this. So this is going to take about 10 or 12 minutes. Everybody stand. And there are 3 parts to this meditation. The first part, we're going to shake. And shaking, I don't know if you can't see my whole body. I have my feet planted shoulder width, and I'm starting to shake from my feet up through my knees and hips and shoulders, like that. You can see that? Everybody see that? Great, that's it. So we're going to do that for about an hour and a half. No, we're going to do that for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to stop and just relax for a couple minutes. And then we're going to put on some other music and let the music move you. I don't say dance, because if I say dance, you'll have an idea. Oh, it's waltz, it's salsa, it's electric slide. It's whatever dance is yours. If there are 140 of us here, there are 140 different dances. Now, I suggest, if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes so you're not distracted. And if you have trouble with balance, keep your eyes open and look off into the distance, or close your eyes and hold on to something. There are no contraindications for this. Some expressive meditations, you have to, say, oh, you can't do this if you have this or that kind of condition. This is anyone can do. And the shaking, of course, is that's what the little mousie is doing. She's shaking off the trauma. That's what your dog does. If you have a dog who gets in a confrontation with another dog, when the confrontation's over, the dog's shaking. This is a basic, deep biological way of healing trauma. And then there are a couple minutes of mindfulness, and be aware during those minutes of your breath and of your bodies. And then the other music that will come on will be music just to celebrate, to enjoy. Because part of this work, what's so important in this time, is for us to be celebrating. Yes, dealing with all the difficulties, all the challenges that are coming up. But we can deal with them much better if we're also able to celebrate. If we see them not just as hardships, but as opportunities. If we don't take everything quite so seriously. If we deal with it effectively, but we don't have to take it seriously, if you understand the distinction. So it's really important during this time to allow ourselves to move freely and to celebrate simply being alive. Okay. So Diego is going to put on the music. Let's take a few deep breaths. Everybody got this? Shaking, knees a little bent, feet shoulder width. Take a few deep breaths and thank nature and our Center for Mind Body Medicine team for the opportunity to have this experience. And when the music goes on, begin to shake. Okay. Feet up through your knees, up into your chest and shoulders. Let your shoulders and your head go. Let your jaw hang open. A lot of us carry a lot of tension there. Good, good. 3 minutes to go. We're getting warmed up now. To go. Keep going. Beautiful. Keep going. To go. Home stretch, everybody. Just relax. Be aware of your breath. Be aware of your body. If there's tension, just allow yourself to breathe into that place and let it go. When the music begins, let it move you. Just keep moving. Let the music will come on.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, "This is my message to you." Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Saying, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, "This is my message to you." Meaning, don't worry about a thing, worry about a thing, oh, every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry, singing, don't worry about a thing. I won't worry, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. Meaning, don't worry about a thing, worry about a thing, oh, every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry, singing, don't worry about a thing. I won't worry, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. Meaning, don't worry about a thing, every little thing's gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. Don't worry.
Okay. How are you doing? Good? All right. So, this is expressive meditation. Again, you can see me doing it, demonstrating it on our website. Just check it out, use it for yourself. It's beautiful. How many, did any of you have emotions come up during the shaking or any part of it? Just want to see. Emotions may come. That's beautiful. Because we're loosening up. All the stuff that we accumulate in all the days of stress starts to come out. And it comes out when we're shaking, when we shake things up a bit. And then we have an opportunity in the second part to observe what's going on. And then in the third part to celebrate and just, enjoy being here. This is meditation. This brings us, it energizes us, and it brings us also into a kind of relaxed moment-to-moment awareness. beautiful to do at the beginning of the day or at the end of a workday. And you can do it shorter or longer, depending on how much time you have. This was about, much time was it? About maybe 12 minutes, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. So this is crucial for dealing with significant trauma or stress. Psychotherapy is wonderful. Quiet meditations are beautiful and very helpful, and they're also foundational. But if you really have been severely stressed or traumatized, this is the go-to technique. This is the one that you need to bring in addition to the soft belly breathing and in addition to connecting with other people. If you can put these three together, you have a program. It's a program, and subsequent webinars will be building on this program. But this is a foundational program and doesn't cost any money. You don't have to go anywhere. No special clothes required. Just take it home, do it. Check out our website. If you want to spend $20, buy my book and read all about it, read all the techniques, read all the science. But and ideally, if you can either do it with other people or share your experience with other people, it's beautiful. You can begin sometimes. A good way to begin is by writing down in a journal. That's another tool, another self-care tool for this time that's really important. Writing down what you're feeling. Write down after you've done shaking and dancing, what was it like? What came up? What went on for you? And give yourself a little bit of time afterwards. So you don't have to, rush off and get into beltway traffic or whatever the poison is in the environment. Just give yourself a few minutes just to relax, to take it easy. Okay, we'll go back to the slides. Can I have the slides again, please? It's not coming on my computer though. Soraya, maybe I need your help here to bring it on the front because they're not coming.
If you want, Jim, I can pull them up for you and I'll move them.
Okay. All right, so great. Thank you. So these are some of the skills. These two techniques are foundational. Everything else becomes easier. All these different skills which we teach in our groups, in our trainings, in my book, in our website, all available. But these two can set you up to more easily do all of these, and also for any other kind of work that you're doing. Anything from community organizing to hanging out with friends to being in psychotherapy. This opens the doors and complements and enriches all those other ways of understanding, helping, satisfying, and enjoying ourselves. Diego, I'm going to need you to advance the slides, I think, the way it is now. Okay, mind-body groups, very important. We have online groups if anyone wants to join. Our faculty and people we've certified, we have 150 faculty around the world. And probably, Diego, what do we have? Probably here in the US, 400 or 500 people who are certified, something like that, and many more around the world. So we have online groups. You're welcome to join the groups. There's sliding scale in the groups. Being in a group is profoundly healing. There's a whole body of research that's coming out, first of all, on the damaging effects of social isolation, which is so common now, and on the benefits of coming together in a group and sharing. In our groups, there's no analyzing, there's no interpreting, there's no interrupting. People are there, you're all there to make discoveries for yourself. So whether you're in our group or not, good to have friendships where you can do that, where people actually shut up and listen to each other and sort of say, and are interested in each other. It's so, one of the diseases of our time, I don't think it's in the diagnostic and statistical manual, is people are not so interested, many, in each other. They're not curious. I'm curious. Who are you? What's going on? That's so rich. So be with people about whom you're curious and people who are curious about you. It just enriches the experience. Diego, can I have the next one, please? Now, this is Amani Butoboro from Democratic Republic of Congo. And that's me and Amani. And I met Amani in Nairobi. We were doing a couple days workshop, and we have a mutual friend, the actor Robin Wright, whom some of you may know from House of Cards and other films. Anyway, Robin is supporting Amani's work in Democratic Republic of Congo, and she's supporting our work in Africa as well. So I met Amani, and I met him in Nairobi, and he was in a workshop. There were a whole bunch of people in a 2-day workshop I was doing, and he looked terribly unhappy. He looked utterly miserable, actually. And he works in one of the hardest places on the planet. I don't know if you know, if you're reading the papers about, I mean, they have continual fighting, mass death, mass rapes, cholera, and other diseases. Just, it's been terrible for years. And he runs a school for orphan kids and also for former child soldiers, who are some of the most traumatized people on the planet as well, because they've had such horrible things done to them, and they in turn have done such horrible things. So Amani was, understandably, he was down and sort of feeling kind of bad. And I said, Amani, I have a technique for you. He said after 1 or 2 of the techniques, he said, well, they're good. I can see how they might work, but they don't really get to me. And I said, Amani, I got one for you. So we're going to have to stand up because I'm going to teach you what I taught Amani. So everybody stand up. I said, Amani, what we're going to do is we're going to do a laughing meditation. And this is, I think you're going to have to focus on me again, Diego, so people can see. So laughing meditation, best to stand, and it's very complicated. You have to go to graduate school to get this one, but I'm going to try to give you a short course. It's like this. You get it? So just full, total body laughter. We'll just do it for a couple minutes, okay? But do it 100%. Okay, take a deep breath. Again, thank nature that we're here in this body, that we have the capacity to experience and to explore something new. And begin. Okay, we'll stop for now. Come sit down. So, Amani did that. And he said, Jim, I think I'd like that. I'm going to go back and teach it. So he sent me a little video. It's hard to decipher. I don't even know where it is right now. Of him, he's this tiny man, in the middle of a circle of very tall former child soldiers who are now grown up, and they're all doing the laughing meditation. And he says, Jim, this is the best. This is what we need. It is what we all need. To physiologically, it stimulates the diaphragm, stimulates all the muscles in the torso and the back. It increases dopamine, increases serotonin. It's physiologically very good. And it also breaks the spell of the super seriousness or the feeling that, we can't do anything about anything. It just shifts things so quickly. So I recommend it to you. Diego, can we have the next slide, please? So when we put all this together, 16 self-care techniques, including the ones I've just taught you and many others, all this work with imagery, mental imagery and biofeedback and autogenic training, which are phrases that mobilize the parasympathetic nervous system, and genograms, finding sources of strength in our biological family and our families of choice, and self-expression in words, drawings, and movement. Maybe next time we'll do some of those other techniques. We put them all together, we train people how to do it, and then we study the results of our work. I'm just going to put up one of the 30 studies. This is a very important study. It's the first randomized controlled trial of any intervention with war-traumatized kids. We used the mind-body medicine. And 12 sessions, the kids all qualified for the diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder before they came in. They were anxious, they were depressed, they couldn't concentrate, they couldn't sleep. They were withdrawn from their families and from their friends. They just were not themselves. They're failing in school, many of them. After 12 sessions, 82% no longer qualified for the diagnosis of PTSD, and those gains held at 3 months follow-up. This was a landmark study, the first randomized controlled trial of any intervention with war-traumatized children, ever. Nobody had done it with drugs or psychotherapy or anything else. What was just as remarkable is the people leading these groups were not people like me with a fancy advanced degree. They were rural high school teachers whose training in psychology had only come from us. They were intelligent, they cared about the kids, they got supervision from our Kosovo leadership team, and they did a brilliant job. And they had these groups of 10 kids in a group for all 1,000 kids in their high school. This is work, if any of you are interested, any of you can do. And you can do it at a very high level. Next, please, Diego. So this is what Tina Rosenberg said in the New York Times about our work with veterans here. We've done a lot of work with veterans, as well as with active duty military and many other populations. So there's a nice vote of confidence. Tina Rosenberg won a Pulitzer Prize at some point, and this is what she had to say about our work with veterans. And it works with anybody. This is one wonderful thing about drawing from so many different traditions and giving people the power to help themselves and each other. And this is not only crucial in terms of thinking about it therapeutically, this is a crucial antidote to the feelings so many of us have during this time of being powerless, of not being able to do anything. We can make changes in ourselves, and then if we want, we can share those changes with other people, or we have the confidence to work to make changes in the world around us. This is very important. We're working now with a lot of activists in Minnesota, helping them so that they can continue to support each other in the community. They're learning these tools and techniques, not only to share with each other, but to give them the sense of confidence and ease in very challenging situations so that they can help each other. Next slide, please. This is, if you want to, I guess, what are they supposed to do, Diego? Click on this if they want to look at the research studies?
Yes, they can use the QR code, and it'll redirect them to the study.
Great. So you can read these studies. We're working all different kinds of people and that we're teaching these techniques to. Next slide, please. We have a training program coming up. You're welcome to apply for the training program. It's online. It's 4 days. We've been doing this one for over 30 years, and we have 8,000 people who've graduated from it. And if you're interested, please come. We have places. And again, the training, maybe there'll be 120 people in this training, maybe 150. I don't know exactly how many. If there are 120, there'll be 12 small groups. And you'll be in a small group, perhaps like the population on this webinar. People from all over the US and all over the world will be in your small group. You'll meet, aside from learning what we have to teach, you'll be in a group with a kind of fascinating crew of people. Everybody, it could be a doctor from the Midwest, and an imam from Lebanon, and a psychologist from Paris, and a teacher from Indianapolis, and a prison guard. All these people are coming to our trainings. Next, please. And oh, click on this, right? Wait, hold on one sec. Let's keep that up for a sec, Theo. So if you want, they should take a picture of this if they want more information. Is that right, Diego?
Yes, you can use the QR code, and that will lead you to the website. And we'll provide all this information in an email that we'll send out as well.
Yeah, and remember, the website is an incredible resource for you. It has all these techniques that I've taught you, and many others that you can look at and you can practice with as much as you'd like. Next slide, please. This is my book, my most recent book, Transforming Trauma. As I said, all the techniques are in there, all the science, lots of interesting stories about. I begin the book with stories of three people who have suffered unbelievably in childhood and who have come through and come out on the other side and become amazing humans. And the message is that whatever we're going through, whatever you're going through, whatever I'm going through, it's a message I have to have as well, that it's possible to move through it and learn from it and grow not only in strength, but in compassion and wisdom. And here are nice things that a couple of people have said. Desmond Tutu and Andy Weil have said about this book. And you can get it, and it's translated into Spanish, many other languages, Arabic and Mandarin and Portuguese and Ukrainian, Polish, other languages. Next, please. And here's we have a training in October, and then we have this open practice where you just come and do some techniques with some of our faculty. I'm probably going to be doing another webinar in April. I'm just kind of feeling like I'd like to do it. We want your feedback about this one, if you'd like it, and also what you're interested in. We did this, Randy was looking around and talking with lots of people and sort of gave me the title for this particular webinar. So we welcome your input, and in other succeeding webinars, we'll be teaching other techniques. We'll be teaching you how to work with many of these imaginative techniques and expressive techniques. Down the road, we'll probably be doing some webinars about how to bring this work to kids who are going through strenuous and stressful times. So I think that's about it. I just have time for about 2 questions maybe now. But I'm really just so happy to be with you and to be able to share this with you. Any quick questions that you have?
If you want to ask a question or make a comment, feel free to click on the raise hand button, and we'll move you over to this space. All right. There are a couple of questions, Jim.
Yep. Okay, let's go for it, Diego.
Yeah. So let's make sure.
Can you bring someone on the screen?
Yes, I have Jeannie, Veronica, and Suzanne sending you a panelist invite.
Okay.
All right. Suzanne, you're here?
Who's where, Diego? I don't see anybody except the crew that's been brave enough to be on the screen all the time. But I don't see anybody else.
And we have Suzanne on screen. Jim?
Okay, where is she?
Hi, thank you so much for this. I was just wondering if you're doing anything in person.
You want to come to Ukraine? I know we're doing something in person there. I don't. Oh, I'm trying to think. Are you going to the Psychotherapy Networker?
No.
I'm doing something there on Saturday, but that's only for attendees at the Psychotherapy Networker.
Okay.
I don't think so, except in Ukraine. We'll be doing something in Minnesota. When we do we have trainings in person when we have a group of 100 people from a particular region or particular area. Then we're likely to do some things in person. I do things in person primarily at conferences by myself in person. And so if you're coming to the conference, I'm doing it, but otherwise, no. You like in person, huh? Me too. I prefer it.
Yeah.
But this is, it's been surprising how good it is to do things online. I was very skeptical, but when COVID came, we had no alternative. So
Yeah.
where do you live?
I'm in Massachusetts.
Well, we can find out I don't know if any of our faculty in Massachusetts is doing anything in person. Write to us and we'll let you know. But
Okay. And I'd travel too. I would travel for it.
all right. Well, we'll keep everybody. Please, I hope you're all on the mailing list. We'll keep you posted about in-person events, about trainings, about future webinars like this, about anything that we're doing. And we also ought to make sure we have faculty, where other faculty are doing things in person. We ought to make sure that's available too. So thank you so much for
Thank
the
you.
question and for your interest.
Thank you.
Who's next, Diego?
We have Veronica. Veronica,
I can't
mute.
see them. I can hear them, but that may be all I'm going to get. But let's go ahead, Veronica. Nope. Okay.
Oh,
Can-
being funny. Mr. Gordon, thank you so much. I discovered you in the pandemic, and you definitely have saved my life in so many ways. I do that every single morning when I wake up in the morning. I'm a teacher in New Jersey, and for high school students, we have a lot of stress here, just like everywhere, like you said. And I just wanted to express my gratitude.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad to hear it, and thank you. I hope you're teaching at least soft belly breathing to some of your high school students. It's great. We've done a lot, and maybe you should come to the training. We've done so much work in schools, and these techniques are so useful for helping teachers. And I've been a teacher for all these years, helping teachers to sort of be present and be relaxed, but also helping the students at the beginning of class. If students get too rowdy, instead of telling them to shut up, I get them up shaking and dancing for a while. Let it out, and then they quiet down. So thank you. I'm so glad this has been helpful, and please keep hanging out with us. Anyone else, Diego? We'll just have a minute or two.
Kimberly.
Too came upon you during the pandemic in Indianapolis when you had your first non-traumatic experience, although you came in with the Federal Express incident, but changed my life. I'm a clinical social worker, and I tell my clients, I didn't get to finish the second part. Long story short, but I did the first training, not the second. But I always say it's free. You can take it wherever you go. You can impart this knowledge onto your children and others. And I was 59 years old when I sat there and said, oh my God, wow, how remarkable. So thank you.
Thank you. It's so great to hear. That's what we're here for. We're here to be helpful, and it's so moving to me, and I think to all of us at the Center for Mind Body Medicine to hear you all and to hear what happened. Yeah, we do a lot of work in Indianapolis. We're now working. Our primary focus right now is on the Indiana Department of Corrections, the prison system, and we're also doing a great deal of work, really gearing up with people who've been released from prison.
Well, I'm in Broward County, Florida now.
Yeah, well, we're all over Broward County. We can connect you with our team
Parkland. Mm-hmm. So, okay. All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. One more. Erudita has been on screen, so give her one chance, and then we'll have to close after that. Hi.
Thank you, Doctor. Hi. I had a very big clinical burnout, and I just to say it, I took all the trainings with you with the in the center, and with not medicine. I love other kind of medicine that's just the mind body medicine, and now I'm certified chairing this amazing program in Latin America, and we are more than 100 people taking. So we really believe in the program, and we can share with our, as you say, with our community. We can continue learning, and it's amazing. So thank you so much, because your books, your program, all the center is amazing. All the faculty is amazing. So really, thank you for all.
Where are you? Where in Latin America?
I am based in Mexico, working in Mexico and Miami. So I have the two the two countries. I bridge the two countries with the program. So it's about my program in particular. I am focused on Latin America. So we have people from Chile, Colombia, Argentina, and also Latins around the world, because they found something in the Spanish that we can share with them. So thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
also your book in Spanish is amazing. Your book in Spanish, we always read together, and all the exercises are very well explained. So thank you so much for also to translate the book.
That's great. Write to me and let me know what you're doing. And we may be reaching out, because we want to expand our work in Mexico and in Latin America. So I'd like you to be part of that. And we may ask for your help also in Minnesota, if
Perfect.
you're up for that, because the Latino population is very traumatized, and
Totally.
we need people who are Spanish speaking to help.
Yes, our language, we need to use the maternal language when we have a trauma. So that's why it's super important to
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on screen, and for all you're doing. And thank you, everybody. It's time for us to stop. I hope we'll let you know when the next event's going to be. And Diego, thank you. And Soraya and Randy, thank you all. So see you, everybody, sometime soon, I hope. On the screen, if not in person. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.